Welcome back, class 11. Students, in the last class we studied about the accounting principles. This is chapter number 3 we started, and in this we were doing accounting principles. We studied about the meaning of the accounting principles. We studied about the features of accounting principles, that accounting principles are man-made, they are flexible, and they are generally accepted. Then we talked about that basically the principles are divided into two categories, that is concepts and conventions. And I told you that concepts are the basic assumptions on which our accounting practices are based on. And in that we studied about going concern assumption, the consistency assumption, and the accrual assumption. The going concern assumption is, I told you that it is the assumption that in this it is assumed that business is going to run for an indefinite period of time and it is not going to shut down. Intentionally, it is not going to shut down in the near future. And the consistency assumption, in this assumption it is assumed that the company would follow consistently a method year same method year after year. And the best example I gave you was the SLM method and the um WDV method. That if you are using SLM method in 1 year, then next year also you should use SLM method of depreciation only. It should not happen like in 1 year you are using SLM method, the other in year you are using WDV method, then again you are using SLM, and then again you are using WDV method. It should not happen. If you are doing such practices, then your results are not at all comparable with your own results of the previous years. If you want to compare your results with your previous years, then you should be consistent in following the accounting methods, right? So third assumption we did was accrual basis. Accrual assumption. In accrual assumption, I told you that in this transaction is recorded according to accrual assumption. Transaction is recorded in the books of account at the time when it is recognized. And recognize means when it is realized. जैसे ही सेल हुई हम उसको enter कर देते हैं. It is immaterial whether we have received cash or not. ठीक है? So when the sales is recognized, we enter into the books of account. Okay, that is accrual assumption. Then I told you that after this that what are conventions? What are accounting conventions? Accounting conventions वो principles होते हैं, those are being followed by different enterprises from a long time. From a long time, they are used uh, by the different companies. They are accounting conventions, and basically they are the outcomes of the uh, various they are the outcomes of the various companies जो outcome of various accounting practices or principles, you can say, that are being followed by the enterprises over a period of time. जो भी अकाउंटिंग प्रैक्टिसेस कंपनीज फॉलो कर रहे हैं उसके क्या उनके लर्निंग आउटकम्स हैं, उनके क्या एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं और उसके क्या लर्निंग आउटकम्स हैं, उनसे ये प्रिंसिपल्स डिराइव किए हैं. ठीक है? सो टुडे वी आर सपोज टू स्टार्ट अकाउंटिंग conventions, principles which come under accounting conventions. Okay, so first is business entity concept, business entity principle. What is business entity principle? According to this principle, business is considered separate and distinct person from its owner. In accounts, हम business or proprietor जो बिजनेस ओनर है उनको टू सेपरेट एंटिटी कंसिडर करके ही अपने अकाउंटिंग प्रैक्टिसेस मेंटेन करते हैं अपनी बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. So business is considered to be separate from its owners, and why it is done that क्योंकि जो कैपिटल बिजनेसमैन लगाता है, जो कैपिटल ही इज द बिजनेसमैन इज ब्रिंगिंग इनटू द बिजनेस, दैट इज कंसिडर्ड फॉर अ बिजनेस, दैट इज कंसिडर्ड एज अ लाइबिलिटी. जो बिजनेसमैन कैपिटल लेकर आ रहा है वो बिजनेस के लिए लाइबिलिटी है. ठीक है. सो जो कैपिटल का जो नेचर है वो लाइबिलिटी है. ठीक है. सो बिजनेस ट्रांजैक्शंस आर रिकॉर्डेड इन द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स from the point of view of the business, not from the point of view of the owner, and this is very very important, right? So their account with the owners being regarded as separate from the business and are considered as creditors of the business to the extent of their capital. So their account with the business is credited with the capital introduced and profit earned during the year, etc., and debited by the drawings made. For example, if a proprietor introduces capital, cash account or bank account is debited and capital account is credited. Amount in the credit of the capital is a liability of the enterprise towards the proprietor, and this principle applies to every form of enterprise including proprietorship firms. So in every proprietorship firm, we follow this business entity principle, that business and the owner are two separate entities. अगर businessman capital लेकर आता है business में, that for that capital businessman, the owner is considered as the creditor for the business, and his capital is considered as a liability for the business. इसलिए जब profit होता है तो हम profit को हम बिजनेसमैन के अकाउंट में क्रेडिट करते हैं. ठीक है. और अगर वो ड्राइंग्स करता है तो हम उसका अकाउंट डेबिट करते हैं. ठीक है. अगर प्रॉफिट हो रहा है तो हम उसका अकाउंट क्रेडिट करेंगे, एंड इफ ही इज मेकिंग ड्राइंग्स देन उसका अकाउंट हम डेबिट करेंगे. सो दैट बेसिकली मीन्स वी आर मेंटेनिंग आवर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ द बिजनेस, नॉट फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ द businessman, the owner. Next principle is money measurement principle. Money measurement principle means the accounting, all the transactions are recorded which can be measured in terms of money only. Only those transactions and events can be measured that can be measured in the terms of money are recorded in the books of accounts of the enterprise, right? So here example is given, like, and that an enterprise has 6 trucks and 10,000 yards of land. These assets cannot be added and shown in the financial statements unless their monetary value is uncertain. ठीक है. सो यू कैन नॉट शो दिस इन योर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स कि आपके पास 6 ट्रक है और इतनी लैंड है आपके पास, अनटिल अनलेस आप उन 6 ट्रक्स की आप मॉनेटरी वैल्यू शो नहीं करते हो एंड उस लैंड की आप मॉनेटरी वैल्यू शो नहीं करते हो. ठीक है. सो एंड दिस प्रिंसिपल हैज़ 2 मेजर लिमिटेशंस. इसकी 2 मेजर लिमिटेशंस हैं, दैट ट्रांजैक्शंस जो सिर्फ मॉनेटरी टर्म्स में मेजर कर सकते हैं, ओनली दोज आर रिकॉर्डेड इन द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. हाउसोएवर जो दूसरे ट्रांजैक्शंस हैं कितने भी इम्पोर्टेंट हों, पर हम उनको अगर मेजर नहीं कर सकते इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी, वी कैन नॉट रिकॉर्ड इन द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट. फॉर एग्जांपल, आपकी कंपनी में आपके जो एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं वो आपसे कुछ आपके लिए लॉस क्रिएट कर देते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ लॉकआउट्स हो जाते हैं आपके, ये स्ट्राइक्स कर देते हैं. ठीक है, या फिर वो आपके साथ कुछ धोखा कर देते हैं, वो आपके सीक्रेट्स आपके कॉम्पिटिटर्स को रिलीज कर देते हैं। तो अगर इस तरह का कोई भी काम आपका एम्प्लॉय करता है और आपको लॉस होता है, यू कैन नॉट enter these things into your books of accounts. However, these things are also very important, पर हम उसे और मेजर लॉसेस होते हैं हमें इन सब चीज़ों से, बट स्टिल वी कैन नॉट एंटर दीज थिंग्स इनटू द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स बिकॉज हम उन्हें मॉनेटरी टर्म्स में मेजर नहीं कर सकते. We are not able to measure these things into the terms of money, so we cannot enter them into the books of accounts. Second thing is the yardstick of measurement, that is money is considered as having static value as the transactions are recorded at the value on the transaction date. See, money value of money is considered to have to be static. हमने अगर 10,000 की बिल्डिंग 10 years पहले खरीदी थी, तो वो बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में 10,000 की ही बिल्डिंग शो होगी. ठीक है, वो मार्केट वैल्यू से हम अगर आज वो 20,000 की हो गई है तो हम उसे बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट में 20,000 शो नहीं कर सकते. We will consider it as 10,000 only according to our books of accounts, right? So these are the two limitations of this principle. Now coming to the next principle, that is accounting period principle. Accounting period principle is means according to the accounting period principle, the life of the एंटरप्राइज, जो पूरी लाइफ है एंटरप्राइज के, उसको स्मॉलर पीरियड्स में हम डिवाइड कर देते हैं. ठीक है, जो स्मॉलर पीरियड हम डिवाइड करते हैं, उस स्मॉलर पीरियड में हम अकाउंट अपनी एंटरप्राइज की परफॉर्मेंस को मेजर करते हैं एट अ रेगुलर इंटरवल. और हम कब मेजर करते हैं? आफ्टर द एंड ऑफ दैट पीरियड, सो दैट पर्टिकुलर पीरियड इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी द अकाउंटिंग ईयर. उसको हम अकाउंटिंग ईयर कहते हैं. ठीक है, और अकाउंटिंग या अकाउंटिंग पीरियड हम टर्म देते हैं उसे. ठीक है, सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द अकाउंटिंग पीरियड, द लाइफ ऑफ एन एंटरप्राइज इज ब्रोकन इनटू स्मॉलर पीरियड्स एंड that its performance is measured at regular intervals. The accounts of an enterprise is maintained following the going concern concept, meaning the enterprise shall continue its activity for a foreseeable future. User of financial statement, especially the management and banks, require information from the accounts at regular intervals so that decisions can be taken at the appropriate time. जितने भी आपके यूजर्स हैं आपकी फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन के, आपके बैंक्स हो गए, आपके क्रेडिटर्स हो गए, आपके डेटर्स हो गए, दे ऑल रिक्वायर योर फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन एट रेगुलर इंटरवल. हर रेगुलर इंटरवल पे उनको आपकी फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए. तो आप एक रेगुलर इंटरवल पे आप फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड कराओगे, और वो रेगुलर इंटरवल क्या होगा? एक अकाउंटिंग ईयर. और अकाउंटिंग ईयर क्या होता है? ज़्यादातर फाइनेंशियल ईयर होता है हमारा फ्रॉम अप्रैल टू मार्च. ठीक है, सो ऑल the whole life of the enterprise is broken into smaller period, and that smaller period is known as accounting year, right? So गवर्नमेंट को भी टैक्स असेस करना होता है. ठीक है, एंड गवर्नमेंट कब असेस करेगी? एट द एंड ऑफ दैट अकाउंटिंग पीरियड. सो banks को, government को, even the management require some financial information at the end of the accounting period, and that is why the life of the enterprise is broken into smaller periods, or those smaller periods are termed as accounting period. Next principle is full disclosure principle. Full disclosure principle means, according to this principle, um, there should be complete and understandable reporting on the financial statements. Whatever information we have, we should disclose it into our books of accounts. हमें अपनी books of accounts में कुछ भी छुपाना नहीं चाहिए. We should not hide anything in our books of accounts. So there should be complete and understandable reporting of on the financial statements of all significant information relating to the economic affairs of the entity. Whether information should be disclosed or not always depends on the materiality of the information. The Companies Act 1956 provides for disclosure, yet there may be many material information which is disclosed, which if disclosed will make the financial statements more meaningful. So this principle states that we should disclose each and every economic activity, which जो भी economic transaction, जो भी economic affairs हमारे business में हो रहे हैं, we should fully disclose each and everything into the books of accounts. Next is materiality principle. Materiality principle is refers to the relative materiality principle refers to the relative importance of an item or an event. According to the American Accounting Association, an item should be regarded as material if there is a reason to believe that knowledge of it would influence the decision of an informed investor. Thus, whether an item is material or not shall depend on its nature and or amount. So materiality information means, for example, if an amount spent on repairs of the building, say 2,50,000, is material for an enterprise having a turnover say 10 lakh, but it is not material for an enterprise having a turnover to say 15 crores. On the other hand, closure of the production plant, even temporarily, say because of an environmental problem, is material. So material means valid or important. What information is important for the firm? All the material information should be disclosed in the books of account. और materiality कौन decide करेगा? How to decide about the materiality of the information? जो भी information आपके decisions को affect करती है of the investor or of the management, that material information should be disclosed in the books of accounts. So for example, here I told you that if a building requires a repair of 2,50,000, 2,50,000 का आप building में repair करते हो, then this 2,50,000 is material for an enterprise जिसका turnover ईयर में 10 लाख है, ठीक है, जिसका टर्नओवर 10 लाख का टर्नओवर है, उसके लिए 2,50,000 इज अ मटेरियलिस्टिक इंफॉर्मेशन, वो उसके लिए मैटर करेगा, ठीक है. बट अ बिगर कंपनी जिसका टर्नओवर से 15 करोड़ है, तो उसके लिए 2,50,000 मे नॉट बी दैट मच मटेरियल, राइट. सो अगर आप फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपका प्रोडक्शन प्लांट कुछ टाइम के लिए बंद रहता है ड्यू टू सम एनवायरमेंटल प्रॉब्लम, दिस सिचुएशन इज आल्सो मटेरियल फॉर द एंटरप्राइज. सो कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन मटेरियल है, ठीक है, दैट इज जो इंफॉर्मेशन आपकी मटेरियल है वो कौन सी मटेरियल हो सकती है, जो आपके डिसीजंस को, आपकी मैनेजमेंट के डिसीजंस को, आपके इन्वेस्टर्स के डिसीजंस को अफेक्ट कर रही है. सो वेदर एन आइटम इज मटेरियल और नॉट विल डिपेंड ऑन इट्स नेचर and its amount. If this means it does means that it is a matter of exercising judgment to decide which item is material and which is not, right. So only those items should be disclosed that have significant effect or are relevant to the user, जिन जिन material information का directly affect करती हैं to the investors, to the employees, to the management of the company. Those information should be disclosed in the books of accounts. Okay, so that's all for today. We have done 5 principles. We started from business entity principle, then money measurement principle, then we did accounting period principle, we did full disclosure principle, and we did materiality principle. I hope all these 5 principles are clear to you. Rest of the principles we will do tomorrow. Till then, read all these principles from your NCERT book. I have already uploaded this chapter on in your portal, so go through it, go through your NCERT. All these principles are given in it, right? Goodbye.